Praise God, happy family. Welcome all to my YouTube channel. On this space, we learn, we interact, and most importantly, we manifest the purpose of God here on the universe. On today's episode, please allow me to talk about civil education. We are learning. Yes, you as mwananchi, an average citizen, please know your position. Know how you're supposed to navigate, how you're supposed to kuchagua your leaders. So that is exactly what I'm going to expound on this episode. And I've collected a lot of data which are very healthy. We can be able to learn, to break down and learn and understand. So please stick till the end of this video. And if you're watching this video for the very first time and you have not yet subscribed, kindly allow me please to request you to hit on that subscription button and notification bell, so every time I upload a new video, you can always be notified. And may the Lord God bless you. So let me just break down the characteristics of you average mwananchi that you need to know, understand your position, and know where you stand, so that every time there's some decision making in your nation and country, as much as you pray for it, you have also responsibility that you are supposed to undertake and know. And education, it's very crucial. When you have wisdom, it's power. So the first characteristic that you are supposed to have, you're supposed to be wise. Be wise. Wise means exposure. Wise means knowing what's around you, knowing the system and all the structures, so that you can be able to make the right decisions. You're supposed to be informed. Yeah, you're supposed to be informed. And I know there are a lot of biased informations, the way we consume from our media's online space all over. So you're supposed to be informed. Informed means you have the right data that you can be able to analyze, so that you can make the conclusion. So you're supposed to make a fearless decisions. Fearless decisions means that you're not going to be intimidated by tribal, sidelining. You're not going to be intimidated by the politicians. They will tell you, if you don't do this and this, then we are not going to do this and this. So when you are voting, for these leaders, please be fearless, because one of the strategy they use is to make sure that we feel sidelines. We feel that our decisions don't matter. As much as we vote or don't vote, they are going to steal. But when you stand in the gap and vote fiercely, you are telling them that my decisions matters, and I have a big say on this, and I'm going to choose whoever that I want. The other one is, please don't be emotional. One of the strategy these people use is they play the mind game. They are going to make sure that you are going to be emotionally configured, so that you can make the decisions according to your emotions. They are going to trigger your emotions by the sympathetic speeches. They will tell you how they have grown up in a poor background. They are going to tell you how they are hated and rejected, so you are going to feel like you are in the same class, and you feel like they are the right people that you need to. They're going to tell you how they have hustled, how they have struggled with life, so that they can be able to include you in their bucket. But in real sense, they are playing with their psychology, so that you can be able, they can trigger your decisions makings, and they can be able to lure you, so that you can fall into the traps of emotional brainwashings, and you're going to choose them as their leaders. And when they get those positions, remember, that was a manipulations they did, so that they can take control. So when they take control, they forget you. The other one is they manipulate you. Yeah, they are going to use all the strategy. They're going to tell you how they have good agendas and visions and memorandums that they are going to break down. They are going to give you false promises, and they'll tell you they are going to fulfill. So when you do that, they are going to crush you. The other one is tribal. Don't be tribal, please. Don't be tribal. We have more than 42 tribes in Kenya. Let me tell you something. The Tower of Babel, out of one language, God gave us a hint how they would have done it. And one of the strategy for them not to build the Tower of Babel was the confusion of language. So if you understand this rule of working one, you're going to conquer and win. But for the politicians, they thrive on this. They are going to sidelines you. They are going to break you down into segments of tribal so that they can be able, when they subdivide, they rule. So for us, we are going to be left aside so that we can cry and be neglected, and they take control and they win and they rule. So let's not be subdivided by tribal ethnics. So let me just break down things that you can look when you are electing these leaders. So examine a candidate's track records, not their promises. Yes, promises are cheap because they have not invested. Underline that. Promises are cheap because they have not invested. They'll come and tell you how they will do, of which they are not going to do, but because you are there and you feel like they can do, they manipulate you, you give them, and they are not going to do what they are going to do. They are going to feed their bellies. So work with the track record. These people, are they productive in their family? Are they productive in the society? The track record, it's tangible, it's solid, you can be able to see. So make sure that you work with the track records. So people who can deliver, people who have delivered, people who have fulfilled the past promises. So you're supposed to go and check, what did they promise you while you are choosing them or erecting them? Have they fulfilled? If not, please don't make the second mistake. So how do they respond to crisis? When there is a hiccup, how do they respond? Are they available for you? When you call them, can they answer? Can they pick your call? If no, why do you need them? The other one is, have they fight corruption previously? Or have they quietly benefited from it? So these are things that you're supposed to look. So the other one is, follow the money, where it comes and where it goes. Yeah, so this one, you need to have a literacy, literacy of money, how the money works, how your tax works, that is who funds these candidates when they want to be elected and run on these government positions, who is benefiting when they are there in those positions, who will take over these businesses, the scandals questions, who, when they are linked with these scandals, who wins, who are being protected, because some get into these positions because they want to cover up corruptions and network. They are going to do shady businesses. That is why they want to be into the government so they can be protected. So these are things that you are supposed to look. The other one is evaluate the candidate understanding to the economy. Please, here you need somebody who is smart here. Yes, don't go for the people who don't know the issues of unemployment, debt, taxations, inflations, business corruptions. Don't go for those kinds of people because they don't know anything, and the way they are going to handle these ones, their things just need smartness. So if you're not, please don't, because what they are going to do, they are going just to create a circling kind of a habit and tell you it's going to work, and it's not going to work. So these ones, they are supposed to have people who know about real economical plan. They can tell, they can be able to create jobs, they can be able to show and reduce the tax and debts. If they can't, if all they can do is accumulate the debts and taxation and they're not doing anything, please, you don't need these people. You need people who know how to break and have a good, solid plan for the youth, agriculture, SMEs, and techs. These are people who can actually tell you, this is my plan, this is the way I need to plan this way out, and things which are doable, not just things which are fictions which cannot work at all. So these are things that you need to look and consider. So the other one is identify emergency projects, promises made close to elections. This one, you need to consider them. And as I'm going to share these civil educations to you, I want you, before now and the period of where we are going to choose these leaders, you're supposed to have this data. And that's why I'm sharing this, so that you can be able to learn. There are things which they are going to launch before now and the period of the elections, so that they can be able to manipulate you, because they know when they show you they are launching and doing something constructive, you need to put them so that they can progressively put these projects into motion. These are things that you are supposed to look right now. The projects that they are going to launch right now and the election period, you're supposed to just also be blind to them. If they didn't do on the previous times, why are they doing it right now? So fake water projects, these are things they do, you know, and budgeted markets. Yeah, let them tell you, this is the money that we have, we are putting here. Let you see that money, but not fake promises, non-existent, so digital hubs. Yes, let them not tell you that if you want to do this, we have a system that is working, we have a website which you cannot be able to see and verify. So the last minute funds announcements, that is a pure lie. Where did they get you this money? So that is why I'm sharing these things, so that we can be able to understand. The other one is the propaganda, you know, the influencers and bloggers for hire. So when we approach the election period, they usually pay a lot of influencers people. They serve the government, you know. The edited videos, you'll see them there, and mark you, these are people who will now, they are going to verify their social media accounts. They are going to make their accounts so active, they keep them in engagement. They are going to strike those kinds of conversations that will flood their account so that they can keep you engaged. They are going to give, you know, fake achievements, which is a pure lie. Let them show you if it's a road, it's something that is solid, you can be able to see. Yeah, so let's proceed on. So they are going also to manufacture the scandals. These scandals, remember, they are going to populate them on the social media. And what it's going to create, it's going to create that attentions and that people's attention, so that they can be able to steal, to embezzle some funds, and they can be able to twist situations. What they're also going to do, they are going to produce fake surveys and polls, so they're going to produce these survey and polls so that you can be able to see that data don't lie, but in real sense they're just doing this to play around with you. So right now, any information that you come across online, please, you need to verify these informations, know the core root of these informations. Avoid emotional reactions. There are people who are going to cry. There are people who are going to tell you how they've been pushed to the edge. So don't sideline with them just because they are going through that. It's as an emotional game, and when you join them, definitely they know when they pull you, they have the cloud, so they win. They have the masses. So the other one is follow credible media. And this one, I want to underline this, because there are so many which have compromised. There's a lot of genuine informations which we don't consume, simply because these medias have been compromised. They've been paid, so they don't just produce any kinds of informations. The informations which we don't consume, which is very crucial. So what they do, they've been paid, they've been bribed, they've been told this is information should not be out, and if you do this, you're going to be, you know, they are going to arrest you, probably intimidate you. They are going to mess you around with your situations. So check facts, you know, the data before you consume it. So cross checks every, you know, viral political clips. Yeah, because some they just manufactured just to create those emotional yeah, so propaganda is designed to manipulate fear, anger, or tribal emotions. So every propaganda that you see online is being pushed by the bloggers, being pushed by the influencers, just begin, because all they are trying to underline is fear, anger, or tribal emotions. So the other one is reject tribals or emotion voting. Yeah, this one, please. And I really vote and recommend Gen Z. They are doing a recommendable job, because they're not like millennium. They're not like our parents who used to be carried away by the tribal ethnics or the emotional voting. Yeah, for them, they are tribalists, of which they are doing good. But I want to tell you this, as much as you want to shout loud, let also actions attach into your words, because you need also to have your voting cards. You're supposed to register. You're supposed to also to avail on those elections day. don't just be there so active and keyboard warriors without impact, because they know very well when you shout too loud and you have no impact, it's for veil, because our parents are not in those social media. So whatever the narrative you're trying to push and just speak loud out there, and you're not in the ground, what they are going to do, they're going to come with handouts and cash and some gifts around. They roam around with big cars, guzzlers around, they shout loud with good public address, and they convince our parents, so as much as we want to join in the battle of electing good leaders, please don't forget that work by having your own voting card. So register. So the one who benefits greatly when we come to the tribal, ethnics, and emotional votings are the leaders, not the people who are voters. So who benefits when tribals fights? It's the leaders. What do I personally lose or gain when people are fighting? These are the questions as a voter you're supposed to ask yourself. Does these leaders unite or divide us? So those are the questions that you're supposed to hear when you hear about the tribal and emotional voting. So that one, please, let's not be divided. Tribal politics is an old trick. It keeps voters emotional instead of intelligent. So be wise and intelligent. So vote for competence, not tribal, not fear, and not peer pressure. Yeah. So never accept handouts as a reason to vote. Yes, this one we need to tell our parents, because these are the people who have been receiving these kinds of gifts and handouts. The 200 shillings, they'll be given 1,000, 100. They will be carried and be fed by all the buses and trolleys so that they can attend these rallies. So handouts create dependency. So you're not going to work. We have people who just wait when there's that campaign sessions just to be given this money. It creates the manipulations, it blinds the loyalty. So it's a vulnerability strategy of these people, because they know when they steal and they bring during those times, you are going to vote for them. So the politicians who buy votes with cash, unga, t-shirts, fuels, drinks, food, has no intentions of serving you after elections. So what they are going to do, they are going to try all means possible to recover their money which they gave you. So please don't fall on this trap. So look at how the candidates treat the institutions. You, so as trustworthy readers, respect the courts. Does the leader respect the courts? If they mess around, can they be summoned in the courts and they avail? Can the court also be fair enough to judge them? And if they find guilty, can they be sentenced or pass through the cash bill so that they can know and learn from their mistakes? They respect the media. And all the people who are going to discredit the media houses and say that that is a vulgar or fake news, yet it's a true news, are the people who can be able to respect and appreciate the civil societies, human rights bodies, the constitution. Yes, underline the constitution. Is these leaders who can? If not, please, these are the people that you don't need them close at all. Procurement systems, the house of worship. We've seen all these things. The leaders who can't, be entrusted or treat these institutions, they will throw tear gas, use goons. They are those who even have banned the churches. So these are things which are there. So please, as you are voting this time, please be smart enough. Yes, so a corrupt leader weakens oversights, attacked journalists, because the journalists are let me use like a watchdog. They're the people who are the gatekeepers. They're on the towers. They can see. They have the space in the platform, and they know when they collect this data and give out to the consumers, because they are the people entrusted with first-hand data. When they give out, they are the people, So when leaders see genuine journalists, they tend to attack them and silence them. They intimidate critics. If you stand and just say that these leaders are doing the wrong thing, what they are going to do, They are going to intimidate you. They don't want to be collected. They don't want to be, held responsible and being told whatever that you're doing, it's wrong. So engage police in silence. Yes, they engage with police. And I know this one, it's one of the strategy they've used for the longest time. But I just tend to wish if these police also can understand, the crisis people go through in the hands of these corrupt leaders. They also suffer because they do have the families. So I think it's collectively we are supposed to be responsible. Don't follow blindly a blind person, because when they fall into traps, you're also going to fall into these traps. So don't attach yourself into cast of associations just because you want to be loyal to somebody who don't care for the humanity. Rigs the procurements. Yes, when it comes to the government procurements and everything, they are going to leak. Yes, they promote impunity. Yeah, so constitutional behavior predicts future behavior. Yeah, so watch how they handle youth issues. Yeah, so this one, we need to look at them. Do they have real policies for the jobs? If they don't, please, you don't need these people. Yeah. Do they support CBC reforms? If no, you don't need them, because what they're going to weaken the system of education. And if they weaken the system of education, they're going to give, very weak kind of people in the society who cannot be able to stand the competition. So how do they handle unemployment before? Have they ever created some projects, bring new investors who are going to create, look for jobs opportunities and good relationship with other countries so that they can create a good relationship and create employments to other countries? Are they offering opportunities or excuses? Yeah. So are they listening to Gen Z or talking at them? Because there's a point of listening, there's a point of talking to them. There's two different things, because the way you think and the way they think, you're not on the same levels. So what you're going to create, it's a conflict. Yeah. So youths will determine 2027 elections. So as youths, you choose wisely. Choose people who can listen to you, who can rhyme with you, who can relate with you. Because let me just be clear on this. Our Gen Z are so educated. Our parents have invested so much on the Gen Z. That is undeniable. They have truly, truly, truly invested on them. So as the guardians, they also need to see these children being productive, manifesting what they invested for so much. So these leaders, you need to put them away so that you can be able to go and be there on the front line and dictate the greatness into our country. So analyze their teams, not just the candidates. So let's come to the presidents, the MP. Governance cannot work alone. So who surround them? Are they the friends, the people to cover up their schemes? Are they, technocrats or the political brokers? We have the political brokers. These are people who just there to tell you that if you need this position, you need to give this sort of the money. They are the people who will fight for you to be on that position despite you embezzling, nations' capitals. Are they ethical or scandal reading? Are they experienced or mere loyal? Because there are people who will not experience, they don't have any knowledge at all, but because they know if they attach themselves to this leader, they are going to joyride on them and get these positions. That is why they are there. A good leader with a corruption team suffers, and the nation suffers at large. So a mediocre leader with a competent team progress. You can be a mediocre leader with a competent team. You might be dormant, but there are people who are backing up and doing great work. So that tells you a lot. I don't want to put more in a broader perspective. So be aware of fear-based campaign. Yes, if a politician says this word, opposition will destroy the economy. Please underline that. If you don't vote for us, you will suffer. Sorry, please underline that. Only our tribe is safe. Please. Fear is the oldest political weapon. They are manipulating your survival instincts. So please, 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 please be keen on this, because if you repeat these mistakes again, you're going to create a circle, a progressions to our nations, to our children's, and it's too bad. Can you imagine our children coming and saying, like, what did our parents did? They messed up things. You know, when we talk about the Mau fighter, the people who liberated our country, at least we look, there's something that they did. They fought, you know, for liberations. But are we really living in that freedom state? Are we really enjoying? Are we really? That is the question that you need to ask yourself. So what are you doing right now, right, that your children will celebrate you? Compare manifestos but examines practically. So many manifestos are copied, unrealistic, unfunded, you know, drafted by consultant. Yes, so these people are very bright. So they will look for these young people. They will put them, give them some handouts, some gifts, some platform and voices, but they want their brain so that they can be able to draft these manifestos. And when you participate and they have the original copy, you're going to be sidelines, and they air it out, and the nations and the world and people at large feel like this is right. But in real sense, somebody else, their consultant, sat down, used all the brains to draft it, but they're not going to do it and manifest it. So that is the bad part of it. A voter must ask, where will the money come from? Yes, will our tax be able to do this sort of projects? Do we need to borrow? Has this been done before? Yes or no? Is the timeline realistic? Because there's some kind of a project these people give us, and when you sit down, you know, you'll know this is a pure lie. 100 billion, this kind of figure. You know, so what are the performance indicators? Yes, what are the performance indicators? If someone has never done this, why should they tell you they can be able to do this? Those are, you know, logic questions that you're supposed to ask ourselves. So please, let's have the critical thinking. Yeah, so the other one understands how corruption's network recycle leaders, you know. So for one, they are going to rebrand themselves flesh readers, born again politicians, religious saviors, victims, all heroes. So that is how they brand themselves, so that you can be manipulate you, so that you feel like, oh, these people. They're also going to use history. Yeah, they're going to tell you the millennium, the milestones, the scandals, also the performance behavior. Don't let rebranding erase the reality. Yes. So remember, these are the people who have had a bad reputation and history all along. So they're the same people. What they do, they rebrand themselves, and they camouflage, they come in a different package, but they are still the same people. So when you want a new change, you need to wipe, you need to pour everything, you need to shake, wash again, and put afresh. But if you're going to use the same thing, it will be the same, because if they have made the previous mistakes and no changes, do you think they are going to change right now? No. So support independence, media, and fact-based voices. Disinformation thrives when the truth is weak. That is true. And what they have done, this is a strategy they have done, and that's why they have employed a lot of bloggers around, so that they can circulate the false informations all over social medias and all the medias, the main medias around, so that they can be able, you know, to silence completely the truth. And these lies will speak louder. So they are going to support the journalists. How many journalists have we seen they've sidelined to the government? They follow fact check pages, demand media freedoms, resist propaganda armies. A democracy without independence, media collapses quickly. Yes. So the other one, ask these one questions. Who benefit if I vote for this person? Because If the answer is cartels, the businessmen, the political families, foreign interests, a small tribe, party elites, then Mwananchi gains nothing. So far with this government, just ask yourself, who have been benefiting? Are they the cartel, businessmen, the political families, foreign interests, a small tribe, party elites? So when you analyze this data, then you're supposed to ask yourself, who has benefited? If Mwananchi has gained nothing, please, when it comes to 2027, be smart upstairs. Yeah. So as I'm about to wind up on this, because I really needed to share this knowledge to you so that you are not going to make mistakes just because you don't have a space where you can learn all these things. So these are my advice to all Kenyans. Vote for your future, not your tribe. Yes, vote for your children, not your stomach. Don't feed today and forget about your children, because they will come and cry and they're going to curse you and say you did nothing. All you did, you cared about yourself. Vote for competence, not charisma. Yes, for competence, not the political aura and people who can give ChatGPT speeches. Don't do that. Please vote for principles, not propaganda. Vote for citizen, not spectators. When you vote for citizen, people who are really in the ground and suffering, and not the spectators, please, you'll do Kenya great things. So 2027 can change Kenya, but if only voters wake up. So let me now break down these ones. We need to civil educations, on the media literacy, the civil engagement, could do, how to be an eye opener to others. And this is what I'm doing today. So teach media literacy. People need to be able to understand, cross-check the sources before you can be able, to make analysis or make a conclusion. So detect doctored photos, videos, online fake news, especially on social media. Encourage cross-checkings with independent fact-check organizations. So this one we need to check, because these people have, as I said, they will hire people. They are going to push this all over in our social media and create this narrative. And funny thing, let me say this, when something is is being cycled each and every day, it's tend to look like a normal, and they have mastered this. So they have people, they put them there so that they can be able to speak this and this each and every day. So encourage, issue-based voting, non-gifts or cash-based voting. And this one I had said that earlier. Please, let's have a conversations about policies, manifestos, track records, rather than, depending on those handouts, because I say this, these people, they will give you handout, but on the end of the day, this was their money. So they are going to recover that money. So, and they're going to just be in those positions, take everything they ever lost, and then they forget about you. Because what they did, they bought your vote. They didn't buy your loyalty, or they didn't buy the manifesto. You didn't transact with the manifesto. You transacted with that handout. Support independence, journalism, and civil society's watchdog. Yes, let's not kill people who are here to speak out the truth, the journalists and human rights, the investigations on corruptions and all sort of things. They are not supposed to be bought. Yeah, so the other one is promote transparency and accountability in elections. Let's not have this strategy of demand, let's have the public participation on this, the financing, real-time monitoring, the laris, the campaigns and everything. Let's audit the electoral process so that, we have normalized, like, the people who are doing the election, they're supposed to sit down, create a budget. We are not included. So what they are going to do out of that, they are going to take back the money, embezzle the money, because we are not included. We are not being told how the process goes around. So educate about long-term consequences of corruptions, and buying votes. Please, let's not drain damage the government's economical developments, trust institutions tends to hurt, common mwananchi. The other one is religion solidarity based on shared national interest, not tribal or propagandas. The manipulators often exploit division. So that is something that we need to look and put into consideration. So as we proceed on, so around the world, the political scientists, observers, have these common ways that government, not just in our country, which is Kenya, sometimes misuse of power. This is how they do this. How are they going to misuse the power and you give them a leeway when you elect them, when they want to conquer you and everything? They are going to control, of security agencies. So the police, they are going to aggressively, disperse the Protestants, people who are, they're going to arrest the activists, the journalists, use intimidations, use intelligence agencies to monitor opponents, So this does not mean every officer supports wrongdoing. Many don't. But the structure of the government's misuse can still happen, and that is how they take the advantage. So use of informal groups or goons, yes, we've seen them, they are well being supported, and the reason they do this is because they want to be an unofficial groups. They carry these things, so when you come to ask the questions, they'll say that was no police, these are the goons and we are looking on this. So yet they are the people who fund them and tell them you don't need to be seen. So sometimes they'll wear masks, sometimes we see them broadly, but they're protected. So they intimidate their opponents, disrupt the rallies, threatens the whistleblowers, shape local politics spaces. These groups operates off the books, underline that, giving politicians deniability. They can come and say like we were not involved, the propaganda. So common strategies include the paying bloggers, influencers, flooding social medias with fake achievements, attacking criticals using coordinated online mobs, spreading disinformation to confuse voters, promoting fake projects to shift public attention. So countries around the world use these strategies. Information is equivalent to power. So shield rallies who are accused of corruptions. Yeah, so that is another one. So why corruptions political networks survive? Why do they really survive so well? Why can we say a government which is rotting into corruptions and messing around, they are doing so well? One, they make sure that they make sure that everybody sink into poverty, makes citizens, vulnerable to handouts. So you're going to support them, you're going to depend on them. The other strategy they use so well is ethnic political, creates blind loyalty. People support leaders from their community even when they do wrong. Weak institutions. We have weak institutions like courts, oversight bodies, and media can be pressured, the fear of violence. Citizens stay silent if activism feels dangerous. So disinformation clouds truth and creates confusion, so people stop caring. So as we just wind up, let me just say this. Do not vote for tribe. Do not vote for handouts. Vote for policy, integrity, and track records. It's very crucial and necessary. Let's promote media literacy. Yes, please don't go for the fake news. Yes, as much as you want to consume data, as much as you want to spend your time online listening to something that is going to carry you and take your mind, so please make sure that you don't consume propaganda, the paid bloggers, the manipulated videos or fake achievements. They are in veil. So the other thing that we need to do is we encourage peaceful, smart activism. So do the fact sharing, the community education, building, the online space whereby you're going to use the locally available, which is time, and you can be able to do the activism there and teach people. They're promoting independence journalism. Like, I can just come here, I can teach you, and I can tell you what is right, and you consume from it. It's not must, you know, you do the with the compromised medias around, you know. Let's also support, you know, the whistleblowers, people who tell us this is what is happening. Sometimes the whistleblowers, the people who come and tell us that these embezzlements happening, sometimes we tend to feel like we don't need to support them. You know, we will consume and probably sideline them. So focus on institutions, yeah, which are independent, free media, which are going to help you. So that is all for now, and I wanna say this, that I really needed to share this civil education so that we can learn, we can understand. I know there are a lot of information which people have shared, and I know I'm not the first person to come and share about the civil education, but I really felt like I need to be part and parcel. The person who will come and tell you my part of view, so that we can be able to speak it out and share to the world and know we stand and we need people to vote the right leaders, the people who can create an impact in the society and into our children. So for 2027, let's be smart, let's be wise, let's be intelligent, let's not go for the handouts and we forget to be smart and vote for people with good track records. Let's forget about the tribal politics. Let's talk about the issue of the religious, you know, because that is a strategy that has worked previously. Let's also sit down and analyze this data and consume it so wisely, because on the other hand, the politicians, because on the other hand, they're looking way out also to drive so well, make more money, be rich, do all the scandals and cartel kind of jobs and be on those spaces so that they can embezzle everything. Let's also be smart, you know. Let's work with people who are accountable. We can ask questions and we can tell them this is what we feel need to be put, and they can be able to represent us so smart into parliament and not feel compromised also. So that was my time for today. My name is David Tick, but please don't forget to hit on subscription button and notification bell, so every time I upload a new video, you can always be notified. God bless you, and let's meet on the next episode. God bless you.